Hello everyone, this is Rick at the Switch List. Just wanted to make a quick video to give you an update on what's going on with the layout and a couple of other projects. Last night I was thinking, boy, I don't think I put a video out for a week or two, and I come back and look and it's been like 20 days. So I apologize for not getting any content out. I've been very busy trying to get some things done on the layout. Those of you who have built or in the middle of building a layout will certainly, I think, be able to appreciate the fact that there's a lot of work that goes into doing one of these things. So let me jump behind the camera and we'll give you an update on what's been going on here on the Maryland and Pennsylvania Railroad in my New Jersey basement. Okay, so going in no particular order, I can't remember exactly where I left off the last video, but I'll just kind of run through a few things and we'll give you some highlights. So the first thing you can see is that I've got a backdrop put in place here, made out of 1/8 inch masonite. And I've really been struggling to figure out how I'm going to support that, because I really didn't plan very well when I designed the railroad for how this backdrop was going to fit in there and be supported. So what I did finally come up with, if you can see here on the right there, that's a 1/8 inch thick by 3/4 inch aluminum flat bar, and I've got one there, and I've currently got one more right, if you can see right there behind that. That's been cut off flush. So I'm going to go buy a couple more pieces of that bar, and I think I'm going to put in another couple of those, and that seems to have made it to sturdy enough for what I needed to do, but I guess we'll find out in the end. And the photograph that I have there is just something that I borrowed from my club to do some photographs, that backdrop you see there, and I got to figure out, still trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Am I going to just try to paint something myself, or which will probably turn out horrible, or try to do a photo backdrop and whatnot. And the big challenge on this side is not too bad, I don't think, but on the other side, where I have a number of industries right up against the backdrop, I have to try to figure out what's going to make the most sense there. So okay, so moving on, as you can see right here, I've got the started working on the fascia. This was a leftover piece that I had from building the backdrop. Still need to paint it, and there's a spot over here. Let me move the camera. So I don't know how well you can see that, but right there, there's the seam between the two pieces, and the benchwork underneath it is not quite perfectly flat, so there's a little bit of a bump there. So I'm going to sand that down, fill it in with some dry mold mud, and sand it down, and when it gets painted, hopefully it'll turn out okay. So you can see I bought some cheap trees from eBay, and just stuck those on there for the heck of it, just to play around. Stuck some pieces of foam there, mainly to prevent any accidents of the trains going off the edge. And there was gaps right here, and over in the other corner there were gaps where you can go straight down to the floor. So I stuck some foam in there to avoid that. Okay, let me move around. Let me move the camera over to Bel Air. Okay, so this is the Bel Air side, and again, nothing really changed here. Again, all these structures are just in place for temporary purposes, trying to see how things will fit. But you can see this is the issue I was talking about. I got these, what will be 4 buildings that are right up against the backdrop, so I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to go, whether I'm going to try and paint the backs of the buildings, the back half of the buildings on the backdrop, or just put scenery there, or what I'm going to do, or try to put some kind of an urban scene. So still doing a lot of Googling to try to see what my options are for a photo backdrop that's ready to go. And here's another change. Those of you who watched my previous videos may remember I had an SB5 in here for the layout, but now I've upgraded that to a Power Pro system from NCE, which I got for a really good deal. I couldn't turn it down. And so along with doing that, I ran the serial cable over here to the laptop, installed JMRI, built a very simple panel here you can see, which is not actually controlling anything because I don't have any automated turnouts. But then I've also got Y throttle running, and as you can see there, I'm currently showing one device connected. Sorry for the shakiness. And that device would be the new TCS UWT 100 throttle that I've been waiting for. Not as long as many other people. I only ordered mine back in October at the MER convention. So it just came this past Thursday. So I got that set up and running. Works great. So that's pretty cool. Going to come in very handy for going to different operating sessions and being able to just use it for everything. And then one final layout update, which is really the major thing that's been accomplished. from Maryland, we've started adding the transition into the Baltimore yard, which the Baltimore yard benchwork has all been built. The track here is just pinned down, very temporary, as I get everything done. So, but I'm very excited to. I made a quick run to Yankee Dabbler to get a box of flex track, and so I've got this started. As soon as I get that transition completed, then run the power to this, I'll be able to actually have some trains in the yard and run them out through the layout. So that's kind of cool. Of course, I'll have to back in at this point, but until I build the York yard, but we're getting there. So anyway, that's kind of the layout update and where it's at the moment. Getting ready to start working on some scenery soon, I hope, and looking forward to doing that. So, all right, let me move the camera over to the bench and show you what else I've been working on. Okay, for those of you who've been watching some of my previous videos and saw the one where I think it was one of my what's on the bench, maybe the introductory one, I can't remember. I talked about I was building a diorama for the New Jersey Division NMRA meet, which is on March 14th, and so it was called the Boxcar Challenge. They gave us prescribed size for HO of a 10-inch by 6-inch module, and they gave me an old cruddy Tyco boxcar, and the challenge is to turn it into something other than a boxcar, and it has to be recognizable as a boxcar when you're done. So this is what I came up with, and I'm not quite done. I've still got right here, I got to put a fence around it, but I think other than that, and then a few final touches. Just noticed that. I don't know what caused that right there, so I'll have to deal with that. I mean, I did put down some scenic cement, but I don't know why it's discolored it. But anyway, so this is the Boxcar Challenge. So I've turned it into a junkyard, kind of a fly-by-night junkyard. An auto salvage, so you can see the guy's got his car towed in. He's arguing with the tow truck driver about the cost of it. You got the guy who runs the place giving direction to the worker man hauling stuff up the ramp into the office or storage area. Got a lot of. I tried to put a lot of. Get some more light on here. I don't know if that helps. A lot of detail here in just a variety of stuff. You got junk car part. Junk part bits back there. You've got some tools on the makeshift workbench there. You got an old engine block, some old dented milk cans and whatnot. And if I turn this around, on the back side, you've got a guy sitting on the bench. I'm not really sure what I'm doing there. Originally thought was maybe have like some guys out here playing checkers or workmen, but I don't know. So I just have that bench there and that guy sitting there. Maybe that makes sense. Maybe it makes no sense. But anyway, you've got the door that was removed when they chopped the boxcar down to turn it into an office building sitting there. You got a ladder. You got some old, railroad junk. So I'll put the fence around it and we'll take it in on the 14th and we'll see how I do. It's just a, it's a people's choice. People vote on which one they think looks the best, and we'll see how we do. It was a lot of fun to build, a lot more work than I was expecting. You can see here I've got I don't know if you can see that. There's a little pin-up girl there on the wall. They just filled in the openings, the door opening with wood, and then cut in a personnel door, and you really can't see it. Maybe if I tilt this up, no, you can't see. But inside there's a stove, which ties over to the stovepipe, and there's also another pin-up girl on the wall inside of there. So anyway, I've been working on that. Spent a lot of time the last few days on getting that done. Okay, that's a wrap, guys, for this quick video. Just want to give you an update. Again, I'm sorry for how long it's been since I've posted an update on what's going on here at the Switch List. I appreciate you watching. If you like this stuff, please consider subscribing and click that bell icon to make sure you get notified the next time I post a video, and hopefully it won't take so long. So thanks again for watching. I hope everyone's having a great year in model railroading so far this year, and I will look forward to seeing you down the road.